What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Iron Mike Tyson. Iron Mike Tyson has some stern advice for former WBC heavyweight champion Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Mike Tyson tells Deontay Wilder to get his head out of his butt and praises Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Wow. The iconic former undisputed heavyweight champion is set to come out of retirement, of course, himself against Roy Jones Jr. on the 28th of this month. Ahead of the contest, he has given his views on the current state of the heavyweight division. At the present, Tyson Fury holds the WBC title and Anthony Joshua owns the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO belts. Regarding his namesake, Fury, Tyson told ESPN, "I think he's very good. He looks like he's not intimidating, but he's really elusive. He really knows how to box," according to he was talking about Tyson Fury. "He's very smart and he's difficult to hit, and he's 7 foot damn near. He's a monster." Okay. In recent weeks, Fury has faced remarkable accusations from former opponent Wilder, who has claimed that he cheated him in his fights. Wilder alleged the Gypsy King tampered with his gloves to put his fist in an improper position. He added that he believes Fury had a hard object concealed within his gloves to deal with extra damage. The American next claimed that his water was spiked, of course, with muscle relaxers from his trainer, Mark Breland. He also pushed further accusations of disloyalty at Breland, who threw in the towel at the end of the bout, as we know. Okay, and Tyson had this to say. He said, "When Wilder gets his head out of his butt, he's good. Wilder just got to stop making up stuff. This guy is great. Keep on fighting. Fight him, Fury, again. Fight him a third time. Whenever you have an opportunity to fight for the title, you should. We as boxers can only do this for a certain amount of time in our life, and we can't do it anymore. So we have to do it as much as we can before we end this stuff." Finally, Iron Mike ended with some type of words for Joshua. He says, "I don't think he's a paper champion." Okay, I'm going to stop right there because this is about Wilder and critiquing Wilder. It wasn't really bad because, he could have said, like he says on his podcast, get his head out of his ass. And I will say this, Mike Tyson really was kind of PG on Wilder, honestly. Me counterpunching what he had to say. I know Wilder will probably hear it and, of course, get all pissed off like he always does because, he doesn't like criticism. He doesn't like criticism. You can tell that with the Paula Malignaggi fight and that stuff like that. He called him a straight up bitch because he's, probably said some choice words or he just gave his opinion about certain stuff. And he called him a bitch for it and tried to get him fired off Showtime. So I don't think he would take this well either with Tyson. Maybe, maybe not, whatever. But he did say, fight him again, fight him a third time. When you have the opportunity to fight for the title, he should do that. And he said, we only have a certain amount of time to do this. And he's absolutely right. Wilder, I think, I wouldn't have explained it like Mike, but that's why it's Mike. Mike don't give a shit. But I'd still think he was PG. I'm going to explain why later. But back to what he was saying. The bulk of what Tyson was saying is, hey, stop making shit up. Stop letting that be a distraction and get on with the fight and see if you can get that title back. Because making accusations won't get rid of the loss. It won't take back what happened February 22nd. And again, if Tyson Fury did, right? That's one thing. But focusing on stuff like that instead of your career won't help you at all. You know what I mean? So I feel that, Deontay Wilder needs to fight as long as he can while he can. But I think first he has to see where he's at. I think Wilder, if he can't fight Fury, because Fury's going in another direction, I think he needs to definitely get somebody in the ring worth fighting, to be able to add to that resume that people criticize, to give him some more self-confidence, to give him that motivating force to move forward, okay, in his boxing career, and let everyone that knows he ain't going nowhere and he's still here to stay, and he has a lot of people that support him anyway that still call him the champion, because they believe the accusation. So I think that would be enough for him to give him that confidence, to still maintain his career and keep moving forward. But Tyson's absolutely right. I think with all the shit that's going on, I think all this stuff is just really distractions at the end of the day, because how could all these things that you're saying help motivate you? Especially if you're surrounding yourself within them. You're going here, you're going there, and you're accusing people of cheating. But one thing you're not really looking at is, how do I stop this motherfucker from hitting me the way he hit me February 22nd? Because, it would be different if this was a fucking Resto Collins fight. Because Collins had some good rounds in that fight with Resto. Cotto had some fucking good rounds in that fight with Margarito. In fact, he was winning up into those punches, and that shit swole up in a dude's fist, and he started hitting Cotto and hurting Cotto, started cutting his face up. But understand, both of those fights were both back and forth. There wasn't any, this guy beat the shit out of you from round 1 to round 7. You see what I'm saying? There was no back and forth. Wilder did catch him a couple times, but it wasn't enough. You know what I mean? The fight did not belong to him any time in that fight. It did not look any round you couldn't give Wilder in that fight. So the main thing is, he needs to figure out a game strategy and a game plan. Like a lot of those channels were saying at the beginning before all this shit started, that could make him victorious if they fight in the third fight, if a third fight ever happens, which I hope he gets. But nonetheless, Mike Tyson's like, yo, you ain't got time to be sitting around here talking about what you feel a person did to you. Try to get him in the fight again. Fight him again and do better, because you only got a certain amount of time to do this shit before you sit around, and you don't want to be like those guys that wasted fucking time doing things that you didn't have to do that was necessary, because you felt either were done wrong or whatever. Obviously, you weren't done that damn wrong, because if you were done that wrong, you wouldn't be wanting to fight him a third time. You'd be wanting to take this motherfucker to court and prove that he cheated you and you don't have anything to do with him again, right? Now, I respected him getting back in the third round or for the third fight for that reason. But all the other stuff, I don't, because again, it could be a distraction, and it is a distraction. You know what I mean? But hopefully it's motivation. But as far as Mike Tyson's concerned, he was like, hey, whenever you got the opportunity, fight him. You know what I mean? Tyson Fury's a monster. He's a beast. He was quick. He was elusive, and, Mike said what he said about Deontay Wilder, and the question is, what is he going to do about it? But was he actually telling the truth, or was he hating on Wilder like a lot of people would think Mike Tyson's doing? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Mike Tyson's choice words for Deontay Wilder. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.